It had a very intricately spun web, and we're greeted by a beautiful scene with impala and rhinos sort of moving across the plains. Hello and welcome to the heart of the Waterberg, a mystical wonder in the mountains where ancient landscapes beg to tell their stories. Welcome to Welgevonden. I am sitting here in front of the beautiful Laluka Safari Lodge, where we have been based this week in Welgevonden. It overlooks the magnificent Taibos Valley. As it was my first time here, everything was just really overwhelming and I was very excited to head out and explore. But mention must be made to the extraordinary amount of rain that the reserve has had in the first few months of this year. Needless to say, they needed to close the reserve, and we are actually returning just after that time of closure, which was used to repair many of the roads and infrastructure that has been damaged. We didn't know quite what to expect, but we were so impressed by the work that has been done by the amazing team here on the reserve, and we're very grateful for the amount of roads that we could drive to get out and about in the bush. I knew that there was a lot that I needed to learn, discover, and appreciate about this special wilderness. But little did I know that our first afternoon bumble would yield such a special surprise. Well, everybody, I cannot believe it. We are out on our first afternoon bumble here at Welgevonden and have found 4 black rhinos. The first thing that really stood out to me about this sighting was the fact that there wasn't just one rhino, but 4 together. And I think we often associate black rhinos as being solitary. That's what you would generally read in a textbook. However, it's very clear that they enjoy being together, including a mother and a tiny calf that was there with them. What really made this sighting very special for me was to be able to watch and learn more about the behavior of black rhinos. Immediately, the group started moving towards us, which is a similar experience that I've had on foot with a buffalo herd when they want to investigate potential threats rather than move away from them. The one who is likely to be the bull was not quite satisfied with what we were and actually attempted to sort of run towards us a few times. And in those moments, I raised my voice a little bit louder and even whistled sometimes just so that he could hear something coming from this object in the road. And immediately he retreated, he stopped, he even snorted a little bit, but in the end everything was fine. And that was fascinating to see that behavior from these rhinos. But this place is also filled with many small wonders like butterflies, flowers, and beetles and birds. In fact, we saw one butterfly named a two-pip policeman, and I believe it's given that name because its large head is shaped somewhat like a constable's policeman's helmet. We also saw African green pigeons that came out one afternoon in the fig trees, and they were feeding on the figs, sort of walking about the tree. And it was lovely to see them out in the open, bending over and showing us their little bit of yellow underpants. The spider that I came across, firstly, it had a very intricately spun web. And it is named a humpbacked Araneid spider. very appropriately named with its little humpback. Here at Laluka, they have a very special hide that's actually at ground level. So when you're inside, you're sort of at the level of the foot of the animal. And we were so lucky one afternoon. The guides quickly called us and we went down into the hide and were greeted by an elephant that was making its way to drink. Oh my word, it was magnificent. It was really special to have our first elephant encounter in that really up close and special way. And hopefully that's a sign of more to come. And if we hadn't already had an amazing first few days here, we managed to catch up with who I now know to be Shaka and the Western Pride. Now, when we first came down the valley, I wasn't actually sure what we were looking at. We thought they may have been a zebra at a distance, sort of size-wise. That's what it looked like. I also saw a few termite mounds dotted around that I thought maybe were a herd of impala, but no, it was indeed a lioness that we saw standing, and Gerrit and I were very excited to quickly come down and check out what was happening. And it definitely looks like only one male lion and 2 lionesses here. I believe he is the dominant male for Welgevonden over the 2 prides that they do have here. And these are 2 of the lionesses from the Western Pride. And as I said, he has mated with the one. I'm not sure if he's going to mate with the other one or not. We shall have to wait and see. Later on that day, we returned to the lions to find that the sun had come out, and we're greeted by a beautiful scene with impala and rhinos sort of moving across the plains in front of the lions. It was really a magnificent sighting. Wow, what a week it's been here in Welgevonden. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.